Welcome to the 6th episode of EHS Concepts, the Ways of Safety, the podcast where we talk about the serious business of safety with a smile and some laughter and relatable stories. I'm your host, Ryan. I'll be your Jiminy Cricket, a seasoned EHS professional, seen it all, so I encourage you all to listen to me, or you're most likely to be a jackass. Today's topic of interest is EHS influence, communicating for safety and sustainability, the podcast where we're going to explore the vital role of communication and influence in creating safer and more sustainable workplaces. So we'll be diving into how effective communication and strategic influence can transform EHS practices. So, communication is the backbone of any successful EHS program or any business program. It's not just about sharing information, it's about ensuring that the message is understood and acted upon. Poor communication can lead to misunderstandings, non-compliance, and even incidences. So how can we communicate more effectively in the EHS field? First, clarity is key. Use simple, straightforward language and avoid jargon. Tailor your message to your audience. What resonates with a frontline worker may differ from engaged a senior executive. Visual aids like infographics and videos can also enhance the understanding. Secondly, consistency matters. Regular updates, reminders, they help reinforce that key message that you're putting out. Whether it's through newsletters, meetings, digital platforms, keeping EH topics top of mind is crucial. Lastly, feedback loops are essential. Encourage open communication where employees feel comfortable sharing their concerns and suggestions. This not only improves safety, but also fosters a culture of trust and collaboration. Now let's talk about influence. Influence is about changing behaviors and attitude to achieve better EHS outcomes. It's not just about telling people what to do. It's about inspiring them to want to do it. One effective technique is leading by example. When leaders prioritize safety and sustainability, it sets a powerful precedence. Employees are more likely to follow suit when they see their leaders walking the talk. Another strategy is to use positive reinforcement, recognize and reward safe behaviors and compliance. This can be through formal programs, simple acknowledgments. Positive reinforcement encourages repeat behavior and motivates others to follow. Another aspect that I love, storytelling, is a powerful tool. Sharing real-life stories of how EHS practices have prevented incidences or improved health can make the concepts more relatable and impactful. Stories stick with people and can drive home the importance of EHS concepts. So, I had a guest interview, and I'm gonna pull that up. So I had a guest interview, and we had to replace this person due to them not wanting to be seen. That like me, just in that ramble, I chopped up some words or whatever. It's fine. I'm a human being. You should understand that. I'm going to try to correct myself as I go. So I'm going to read the interactions interview, and I'm going to use the name Patty, the person at time of interview, P-A-T-I. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go through like I was interviewing, and I'm going to be Patty as well. So we're going to do that here real quick. So I said, today we have a special guest, Patty, an EHS expert with over 25 years of experience in the field. And Patty says, well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. And so I'm like, well, let's start with your experience. How can you share an example of how effective communication has made a difference in the EHS program you've worked on? And Patty took some time and then said, in one of my previous roles, we implemented a new safety protocol that required significant changes in daily operations. We used a combination of training sessions, visual aids, and regular check-ins to ensure everyone understood the new procedures. The result was a significant reduction in incidences and more engaged workforce. And I responded, well, that's fantastic. How about influence? How have you seen influence play a role in improving EHS outcomes? And Patty replied, well, influence is crucial. I've seen leaders who generally care about safety and inspire their teams to adopt safer practices. It's about building relationships and trust. The employees that feel valued and heard, they're more likely to embrace the EHS initiatives. I said, that was great insight, Patty. Any final tips for listeners on enhancing communication influence in their EHS programs? Patty said, well, just keep it simple. Be consistent, and always listen. Communication is a two-way street, and influence is about connection. Build those connections, and you'll see positive changes. So then we went to a Q&A sessions where we had some questions come through. And so I said, let's move on. Let's get some questions from people that are tuned in. And our first question was from Robert. How can we make EHS training more engaging? And I responded, well, that's a great question. Interactive elements like quizzes, simulations, and hands-on activities can make training more engaging. Also, incorporating real-life scenarios and stories can help make the material more relatable and memorable. That just like I used the old crusty guy Russell, right, in the previous podcast, you draw those stories from those individuals, and that's what I love. You can get your impact of what you need across by that impactful story. That one, it's true. Two, it's coming from someone that may be very well respected for their expert and their time that they've been there. And so when you have that, it's like, wow, Russell says this, and he's been here for 35 years and doing it this way for 40 or whatever it may be. It makes an impact to the other employees, which is great. More so just coming from the EHS professional or the CEO, the VP, et cetera, et cetera. So then our next question came from Tom, and Tom asked, what are some common barriers to effective EHS communication? So common barriers include language differences, cultural differences, and resistance to change. I think that's probably the biggest one, is the resistance to change, because we see it everybody, why are we doing this? But if you address these barriers, addressing these barriers is going to require a tailored approach. Not every solution is going to have the same, or not every problem is going to have the same solution. Or not every solution is going to fix the problem either. But addressing the barriers does require a tailored approach, such as providing materials in multiple languages, being culturally sensitive, and involving employees in the change progress. Let me say that one time. Involving the employees in that change progress. That's how you're going to win it. I mean, you really are. So, and then throughout this interview, Patty answered some questions, but they asked to leave some of their responses out. So, thank you. Hopefully this is pretty short. Thank you for tuning in, or just clicking on this episode of EHS Influence, Communicating for Safety and Sustainability. Can't talk today. We hope you found these insights helpful and that you start implementing some of these strategies in your EHS programs. Remember, effective communication and influence are key to creating safer and more sustainable workplaces. Join me next time. We're going to explore more topics related to EHS and concepts. So don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, follow us on, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on X, we're on everything. Also, we're on Connect, and as I'm saying that, so if you're an EHS professional and you want to be on a show, a podcast, please reach out through here, or you're going to see all my contact information in the descriptions. But also, I want to give a shout out to a very inspiring individual. You guys may have known him, Patrick Bet-David at Valuetainment. If you haven't, join Connect. Connect is an app, and it's a minute to connect. It's a great app. I'm personally on it. It's where you can ask leading experts in certain fields for advice or anything. And it's a vast amount of fields there. I said, so, I'm on it. Love to hear from you. Thank you all again for watching, and safely live. Safely live.